Hello everyone, today I'm going to be talking about my two Shengshell / Florian modded VCube 5s, and mostly be talking about the second one because I already made a video about the first one and my first attempt. So first off, what I did this one is basically just rounded this off and whatever. I'll show the internals later. And then after I made the first video, I actually tried rounding off the inner pieces, because that's something that you do on the Shengshell 4x4 to reduce locking. So really, the inner layer locking, it just doesn't really happen internally. Like, you know, the outside edges will catch just because they're square, but the internal locking doesn't really occur. But I still tried it to see if it would make it faster, and to be honest, it didn't really do anything. So with my second attempt, I did not do that, and then I also tried it a little more severely. So as you can see, the rounding on this one on the right is more prominent, and what that did is it made it normal cut a lot better. And I say reverse cut's the same, and it doesn't really reverse cut that well because the inner stem of the core is not rounded off, and that catches. So I suppose I could round that off, but it would kind of make it unbalanced because the way that the inner layer doesn't really cut reverse. So I mean, that's something you could try. It wouldn't hurt anything, but I haven't done it. So how these cubes feel, the one on the left here, my first version, it's a little more clicky because of the Pi mod. I didn't do really thoroughly on the outer layers, but I'd say the layers are more even on this one than this one. This one feels a little unbalanced. Not really resistance wise, but since these just cut so easily on the outer layers and not quite as easily on the inner layers, it's kind of a resistance thing, because that can have to do with cutting, but it just feels a little more unbalanced. Not that that's a bad thing, but that's kind of personal preference. So if you plan on modding it, kind of tailor it to your likings. So now I'll show the internals of these cubes. Okay, so I've taken out a corner section of each of these cubes, and now I will compare the pieces. So let's start off with the edge piece. This is the first one, and it's kind of hard to show. Hopefully you can see that it's not that rounded. And one thing to note is that it's rounded all the way down the edge. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind if you're gonna do this. It's rounded all the way down. Same with the inner, or the corner centerpiece is just like that. I kind of have to block the light so you can see. So that's rounded all the way down also. And the corner, it looks kind of weird when you do this, but you can actually cut in pretty far because this opening looks weird, but it doesn't really catch on anything. So that's rounded. And also, so the problem is with the reverse corner cutting, if you really wanted to make it better, what I see happens is that the stock, it's still triangular, as you can see, and that catches on, I believe, one of these pieces, and then kind of is a flat surface against a flat surface. It was rounded. If it was rounded, it would slip off the piece more easily. So now this is the second attempt at a mod, or I say the second version. Really, it's not an attempt. It worked. So it's more rounded. I don't know if you can see that, but hopefully you can see where it's rounded if you want to try this. And once again, the center corner piece, so once again more rounded. You really take a lot off here to make it just a nice round curve there. take out, because it's usually very kind of pointed there, so that reduces whatever kind of catching could occur. And then here you can see you can actually take off a lot of the corner, and it looks, once again, kind of funny from the inside. You can taper it so it's less rounded here and more rounded on the outside. If you're worried about like structural integrity, that's what I did, and it works just fine. So that's the pieces, and one thing to note is I do not have adjustable cores on here, so I need to pick up some cores. I think I have some screws, so leave a comment if you want to see maybe an average or another video of what these cubes would be like with adjustable cores, because I do want to see how they perform, because they're pretty good already, but they need to be loosened up to lower the resistance a little bit. So those are my Shengshao / Florian modded VCube 5s, and thank you for watching.